Small chargers, big power. Let's check them out. Dave Taylor here, and if there's one thing we all have in common, it's we have to deal with power. We have all these devices, they all have to be charged, they all run off a battery, which means you have to deal with chargers. Now, companies generally provide chargers, though not most, the most recent generation, not so much, but you still got to deal with it. You still got to figure things out, which is why it's great that there are third-party companies doing really cool things in the charger space. Both of these are from AUKEY. This is a 100-watt Omnia charger, and this is a 20-watt Minima charger. They're both really small. In fact, just as a size comparison, here's a 100-watt charger from AUKEY. Here's the 87-watt charger from Apple. So you can see it is dramatically smaller and actually not a lot lighter, but a little bit lighter. And this is like a 1-inch cube that pushes out 20 watts of power. That's not bad. So let's start with the bigger guy. This one is pretty interesting. This is, like I said, the Omnia USBC. So it has USB-C. It's running Power Delivery 3.0 or PD 3.0. And this is a GaN-fast technology. So it's gallium nitride, which is the latest circuitry design for power chargers, which is how they get it to be so darn small. It has built-in safeguards for overheating, overcharging, and excess current. And I thought, well, I usually have this 87-watt charger plugged into my MacBook Pro, but what happens if I plug in a 100-watt charger? Now, critical to know is that if you want to get more than 60 watts out of a charger, you need a cable rated for more than 60 watts. If your cable doesn't say anything, or you just bought yourself a third-party cable and it doesn't specify wattage, it's a 60 watt. This is a 100-watt charging cable, USB-C on both ends. It only costs a couple bucks more, and I love this one because it's really long too, so it gives me a lot of flexibility. But I plug this into the wall, giving me 100 watts. I plug this into my computer, and then I go into System and look at the system information power, and here's what I see. So interestingly, the computer's seeing 100 watts, but it's saying no to charging, which is a little confusing. Now, turns out that all of Apple products, and really a lot of modern electronics, are managing the power coming in. So what Apple was doing in this situation is it's saying, you're kind of okay on charge. We're not going to do a lot of charging right now, even though we have a lot of wattage. So I went into the energy saver settings. I disabled that feature. I went back to power charging, and I looked, and now it says yes to charging. That's a win. So how much did my MacBook Pro charge on this 100-watt charger? In 1 hour, I am not making this up, it got a 92% charge. So basically in an hour, my MacBook Pro went from just about dead to almost completely topped up. Now, it turns out, even with those features turned off, that your charging from like 0 to 10% is much faster than 90 to 100%. We're going to really hit that when I get to my phone. But for suffice to say, this was an absolute rock star in terms of charging my computer. Loved it. And again, make sure you have a fast or high wattage cable to get the maximum benefit out of that. I actually did a video talking about all the differences and demonstrating how much the cable matters. So you might want to check that out. It's here on YouTube too. Easy enough. Now, I'm going to tell you the prices at the very end. So this is the Omnia USB-C 100-watt charger from AUKEY. But this little guy, this one's even more fun. This is the 20-watt Minima charger. And as you can see, it's just a smidge over 1 inch around. And this also gives you overheating, overcharging, and excess current protection. I don't think this is gallium nitride. I'm not sure what technology they have in here, but 20 watts. The little guys that came with old iPhones and stuff were the same size and only pushed out 5 watts. So you'd think, 5 watts to 20 watts, that's a pretty big difference. Well, it depended on what device I plugged in. So USB-C to USB-C, when I plugged in my Google Pixel 5a, it was an absolute rock star, charging 76% in 1 hour. Not as good as my MacBook Pro on this big guy, but for a phone to get 76% in an hour, no complaints. In fact, it even said on the bottom, it said fast charging, which I rarely see from non-Google devices. So this worked great with the Pixel, and I imagine it would work great with just about any Android phone. Now, the other half of the coin is I actually plugged in USB-C to Lightning and then plugged in my iPhone 12 Pro, and I was kind of a little disappointed by the charging. This gave me 42% charge in an hour, which is really nothing to write home about. I'm not even sure it was able to process more than 5 watts of power. Now, what I think I was encountering is the iPhone battery management and energy management system, because again, just like I said with the MacBook, if I went from 0 to 50%, that would probably go really fast. But if I want to go from 80 to 100%, it might take just as long or even longer. In fact, some people say that their devices never get to fully 100% unless they wait a really long time. And that's this having smart circuitry to manage its power so that it doesn't overheat the battery and it doesn't end up degrading the overall lifetime of the rechargeable battery in the phone. Long, complicated excuse, I suppose, but suffice to say, 76% in an hour on my charge with my Pixel, 42% with my iPhone. Kind of not super thrilled with the iPhone, but then again, think about it. You have the one charging unit that will work with really a lot of different devices, and you can even charge a computer with this slowly, very slowly. But if you leave this plugged in overnight and your computer's off, then you can get a little bit of a charge that you can eke out of this even at 20 watts. But really, this is designed for smaller units, for tablets, for phones, for any devices like that, maybe a remote camera that can be recharged. So 20 watts and the size of a 5-watt charger, nothing to complain about. I should point out on both cases that the prongs fold in, and that makes it that much easier to transport. And I actually have one of these in my computer bag, because why would I carry this clunker from Apple when I can carry this sleek and svelte charger? I can't believe I think chargers are svelte, but there you go, from AUKEY. So, great, let's talk about price. But before we get to price, can you go ahead and subscribe to my channel, please? Just a click or a tap on that red subscribe button on the lower right, and boom, we are connected. Great. All right, let's talk prices, because both of these units are on pretty good sales right now on Amazon. So this is the AUKEY 100-watt Omnia USB-C charger, and it's regularly $45.99, but right now, when I went to record this video, it's for $32.99 at Amazon.com. Now remember, this works at least as well, if not better, than this Apple charger, which I can guarantee costs over twice as much. Why would you want the bigger charger that actually costs twice as much? I don't know. Get this instead, right? And then this is the 20-watt Minima USB-C charger, and it's $16.99, but they have a promo, they have discounts, Amazon Prime members get special pricing. By the time you put this in your shopping cart, you could have the price as low as $7.01. And I just want to say, for $7, just go buy a couple of these. These are so handy to have for emergency purposes. Leave one in your car, put one in your desk at work, have one at your vacation cabin, whatever it is. Give one to each of your kids because you're such a wonderful person. What a great stocking stuffer this would be, except it's kind of the wrong time of year right now. But generally speaking, great price, great product. A little disappointed with the iPhone results, but otherwise these two are doing a rockin' job of charging, and their form factor are fantastic, and their price is ridiculously good. So I say check them out, and with that, I hope to catch you in my next video.